Hello, and here we are at the finale of Jotunheim. Um, so, a true god has ascended. Maho Shoujo, Milky Marrow, Opener of the Wells. Yeah, whatever. Led her people to victory. So Yifs won the game. Um, these past few turns have just been Yifs like shattering my provinces and removing my armies and taking me out. So I suppose it's only fitting to do a retrospective on the game. I think to start, the best thing will be to look at score graphs. So there's a lot of people in this game. This was a somewhat packed environment. Right off the bat, you can see where I'm in provinces. I had a really bold gamble of trying to take out Nazca. And what I learned through this game is that Nazca is an extremely strong nation and very difficult to take out. Their condors make them ludicrously powerful with a good bless. And that's not something that I understood or knew about when I looked at their nation when I started this game. And some people also helpfully pointed out in the comments about mummification, how that worked, how they were not buying, the player was not buying those expensive mages, they were just getting them for free, which I think is crazy. Nazca seems to be a really strong nation. I'd consider playing them, in fact, if I would do another MA game in the near future. But that said, the fact that I didn't win that first fort battle was sort of bullshit. I don't think there was a good reason that I lost. It was just like a really unlucky dice roll. And I think if I won that battle, I could have won this game. Just having 2 caps so early would have been extremely strong. But the fact that I didn't win and I just had to keep going really hindered me. Oh, this is way too loud. Furthermore, since I failed on his cap, I really had 2 choices. I could either go ahead and double down trying to take his cap, or I could give up and sue for peace, and I sort of did like some crappy middle of the road option. And I think the results of that are demonstrated by the results of this game, and that is that they suck. Like, I burned a lot of money trying to kill Nazca, and I ultimately did it, but really late in the game. You can see when he finally died, it was like more than like 60-70% of the way through the game. He's still in it. He's still being a bother. Yeah, just really not good. I don't think it was worthwhile to take those extra provinces, because really it's poor. It really reflects poorly on my neighbors that even enabled me to take those provinces in the first place. That is, that they didn't have them, which I'll go more into when we look at the history of the game. But of course, that's not to like say my opponents are like, I only won because my team or something. No, I played like garbage. It's undeniably true. But there was at least one time that was BS. That was not my fault. That I just got screwed over by bad luck. By extremely bad luck. Game-losing bad luck. But from that point on, I also made a myriad of mistakes. Undeniably, I made terrible blunders. Is there anything interesting in forts? Poor Archaecephaly. Yeah, like an income. My income's not actually that bad. I was doing pretty good up till the point where Yis invaded me and took all my stuff, and I was never able to recover. Very unfortunate, too. I had a non-aggression pact with Yis, and they just attacked me anyway. Which, I mean, whatever. My gem income, wow, my gem income was good for, like, 1 turn. My gem income was better than Ulm's. Ulm had the best gem income for half the game. They had the best gem income, and then they just did nothing with it. They also had almost the best income for most of the game. They had the best research for most of the game, only beat by Archaecephaly for a small time, and then yes at the very end. Dominion, who cares? Army size is neat. Like, wow, Satis made a lot of skeletons. But yes, ascended. So, let's look at the history. Where do I see that? Yeah, over here. View history. So this is a fun little feature that shows you turn by turn how the world changed. I think, all things considered, my spawn is pretty good. Just the fact that Nazca is my closest neighbor and Ashdod, like, that really sucks. I think Tianchi as well went for a hell... Yeah, Abyssia, Tianchi, Nazca, Ashdod, and me. All the players who are doing, like, some stupid hell bless rushdown thing. That's not to say that that everyone used that strategy effectively. I certainly didn't. But I don't really have, like, Archaecephaly next to me. You know, if Archaecephaly was next to me, I would have just crushed this guy effortlessly. Or Satis. You know, it would have been like, I just wiped them out. Or Man, maybe? I never interacted with Man in this game, particularly. Yes had a very big bless, and they're underwater, so nothing I could do against them. So let's get through year 1. So you can see provinces being taken. This is the time where I knew... Here, let's back up. I knew in this situation, Nazca... This province had barbarians, so I knew Nazca was not going to go there. I predicted he was going to go into this forest, which is exactly what he did, and I blew him out, destroyed his expansion army here, and that's really what prompted me to invade him. And I think that was a smart decision. I still think that was a good call, and I think I could have won earlier. Maybe I just needed to double down. However, looking at other players, let's get to the end of year 1. Okay, so at this time, I'm still a failed state. Like, I have made no progress on Nazca, realistically. I've just traded 1 province, and I've got all this untapped land that really should be taken. So the fact that I don't have Nazca dead should say to me, okay, I need to either give up attacking this guy completely, or I need to just go all in. And I think what I do is, as I said, it's just something in the middle. Like, I send armies to start taking indie provinces, but I also send a big army to hit Nazca, but it's not everything. So I played like garbage, and I'm a tiny nation because of it. So the other nations, Ashdod, how many does he have? He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There is no reason that Ashdod should be this tiny. Ashdod should have like 30 provinces. He has the most busted, brain-dead sacreds in the entire game. He can just take provinces with them with nothing. Just kill anything in the game with them. There's no reason he shouldn't have, like, all this should be his. All this, and all this should be his too. He should be taking all this. He should be invading me. He should be wiping me out from the game because I'm so weak that he could just walk in and annihilate me. Tianchi is at war with Abyssia presently. What happened over here? Yeah, so I think what happened was he saw Yis walked onto land here, and he decided to, like, PD dump or something, or invade Yis, and it just, yeah, he took this province, and he was, like, PD dumping and saying, like, I'm not letting you hold this province, or one of these two. But it doesn't work out It just sort of gets eaten by Abyssia and Man and yes. Also, this is, if you notice that there was a real problem. Like, Tianqi, at this point, is basically, let's see, yeah, at this point they're dead. At this point they're out of the game. They went AI. And turn, like we're still ticking turns down. Why is Tianqi not being taken? Finally taken halfway through the game. Like, what the heck? I mean, like, I haven't taken Nazca by this point. But that's because I'm a shit player. That's because I'm making garbage mistakes that are costing me the battle. Because I have troops over here taking these provinces, which I shouldn't even be allowed to take. I shouldn't have been allowed to take these provinces. Ashdod should own these. I shouldn't have been able to take these. Abyssia should have taken all of this. All of this was free. It was free for so long. Like, look, he's got stuff over here. Just take this. Just take this stuff. He's just not taking it. Still untaken. Why? Why not just take it? Jesus Christ, it took him till late summer of year 2 to take this province. This was free. This was all free land for a very, very long time. Why is this indie? Maybe a random event. No, he just didn't take it. Jesus Christ. I'm curious about Abyssia's early game expansion. So he did get into a war. Well, let's see. So it's turn 12. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 provinces. Not good enough. He needs more than that. And there's not really an excuse to not own these provinces. Or these. I mean, I think Tianqi's dead by this point. Like, okay, they still have flags on the map, but they don't have armies to contest anymore. Ulm, by contrast, I think has done a pretty good job. I think 5 provinces, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh my god. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 provinces. That is solid. That is really good. Man, I love Ulm. Such a great nation. I think this guy did a great job. But this really good early game position that he's put himself in, he doesn't really capitalize on. Like, he's building forts, he's building castles, he gets a lot of research, but he doesn't really do anything with it. Or rather, I should say, he does do stuff, it's just he doesn't know what to do. Like, he has a lot of research, he has a huge amount of gold, he amazingly has, he still has, like, the most research in the game at this point. Maybe Yiss is, like, barely beating him. But he just doesn't do a lot. He invades Ashdod at the very end. Let's see, Yiss is, like, eating all my land. But nothing really changed over here for him. He was pretty safe for basically the whole game. He has a lot of castles. He has a lot of research, a lot of mages. He just didn't really do anything with them. Which is really just unfortunate. But you gotta learn to play the Dominions mid-game and late game, which is a skill I'm still learning. So I'm not really one to talk. It's not like, you know, my performance this game was anything short of mediocre. It's anything exceeding mediocre. But I get it. Ulm struggles in the mid game. I would have considered going for golems just because golems are so great, and Ulm gets pretty easy, relatively easy access to them. That could have helped out a lot, or getting Earthblood Deep Well. Satis and Archocephaly I didn't interact with for most of this game. outside of diplomatic stuff, and man as well. But man's expansion, let's see. So man has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 provinces. Failed state. Satis has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, especially considering what everyone else is doing. Arco has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's embarrassing. This guy has 8 provinces. like this is apocalyptically bad. He doesn't even he doesn't have the excuse of, you know, he's in a do or die suicide charge war against his neighbor like I do. Like, it's okay, fair enough. Nazca doesn't have any land. I don't have any land because we're blowing gold, slamming into each other. This is a failed state. Tianchi obviously is a failed state. Like, he killed himself when he like declared war on Yis, or like PD dumped like 1,000 gold or something to take out Yis, which just is never gonna work. Especially, it's like, what's the gain? Even if you take this land, who cares? Yis just goes somewhere else. You can't defeat Yis because they're an underwater nation. Definitely it's like, okay, so Yis won this game. I don't think really off the back of any particular major skill gap on their part. You know, what I mean is just this map is really unfair. This map is, like, extremely unfair. Yis has this whole ocean to himself. Like, look, it's the end of year 1. The guy's got 1... Oops. No. Take me back. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17... 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 provinces by the end of year 1. Compare that to, like, failed abortion Ashdod or embarrassment Archacephaly. Like, these, even if you add up their provinces, it doesn't have as many as this guy has. And he's fighting war against Tianchi and winning. Undeniably, part of that is my own fault for being unable to take my own cap circle and being unable to eliminate Nazca. But at the same time, Man just gets killed for free by Yis. Tianchi gets killed for free by Yis, and just absorbs a lot of the clay. Like, Abyssia gets a lot of stuff too, but he spends so much time trying to take it that he doesn't really benefit a lot from it. Like, by the time the game's halfway over, he gets Tianchi. And it's like, at this point, he doesn't actually have that much. Towards the end of the game, once I get elfed, Abyssia... Yeah, Abyssia and Ulm are invading Ashdod, but it's like, who cares? Ashdod was never relevant in this game to begin with. It's sort of like me. Like, here I am being invaded by Yis. And it's like, eh. I took Nazca, but I don't have any research. I mean, also, yeah, speaking of which, researching Enchantment 5, the idea was to spam Horde of Skeletons and use Blood Communions to power it up, but it just never worked out in practice. I never sent any mages to the front line because I felt my research was so bad. I was trying to make the Death Skulls, the Death Gem item research boosters, but I think I don't remember what I did. I screwed up somehow and I didn't end up making them, and then Yist invaded me shortly after, so it wouldn't have made that big a difference anyway. But I think Enchantment 5 was... It's a good goal, but not what I needed. There was a lot of other stuff that was more important. Definitely construction, to get those research boosters. That was a lot more critical. And there is a blood item that gives research. It's like the imp familiar. That absolutely I should have made. I should have put it on the little goblinoids. But I think in retrospect, really the major problem is my build just sucks. Like it just was bad from the beginning. If we exit out of this game. It's gone. Well, I didn't make it. Weird. Anyway, I mean, I'll try to recreate it for you. So I picked this monolith just because it's like, okay, he's got basically all the magic paths that I want already. And I went like Blood Bond, Regeneration. I know this isn't exactly right. I'll fix it. Cold. I drain 3 at Misfortune. I think it was this. And this is like... It's not that the Bless is bad, but the scales are crippling. Like, Drain was so incredibly deadly. Like, it turned this unit, which is a bad researcher, granted, but in Magic 3, suddenly this guy's a really good researcher. In Magic 3. And this woman costs a lot of gold. She has to fund, you know, her... I mean, she's really expensive. 132 gold a year is just insane. And she wasn't producing that much magic, or that much research. I think taking this was just terrible. And taking the golem at all, it's like, what was the point? Why didn't I just take... the Grey Enchantress. Let's see. How's the difference on design points? It's actually a little less. Okay, well then this is not the right choice. But I think more importantly, Jotunheim's strength is not in these sacreds, which are decent. After using them a lot, I've come to the conclusion that they're pretty okay, but they're not that good. I think the rest of their units are, like, this guy's pretty solid, but, like, this thing sucks. This unit's terrible. This guy's very great for sieges. This guy's okay. This guy's good. This guy's okay. And this guy's just way too expensive to ever make. And this guy, similarly, he's just so freaking expensive. If he gets killed, it's such an it's unbelievable lost cost. Lost gold, rather. Yeah, and I spent a lot of time making these mages, or not mages, these priests to buff my sacreds. I spent a lot of mage turns building those instead of making real mages. And I definitely had an overflow of them at the end of the game. Anyway, if I was to do it again, I would prioritize like somewhat high magic paths, like, I don't know, maybe it's something like this, like, enough. We've got nature. We don't need nature on this nation. Do we have astral? Yeah, we've got astral. We've got like all the 4 elements, so we don't need this woman. Just pick. Sure, this guy. Why not? No, not this guy. What am I talking about? Just the crone, sure. No, not the crone. What am I doing? This guy. He's got fire. Cool, fire. Great. We get fire resistance. No, what am I doing? I need Frostfather. Yes, I'm sorry. This is what we want, because we want shock resistance, of course. This is the terrible, horrible weakness that screwed me over so badly this game, that if I took shock resistance, I would have been in such a better commanding position. It's unimaginable how much easier it would have been. And I don't even need to take magic weapons. I could just take frost weapons. I mean, they kind of suck, but it sort of fulfills the same role. And it gets me water on my god, which is fine. And I can take reinvigoration, still good. I take blood surge, it still produces good sacreds. Like, these guys are still solid. And then I can go dormant, and now I can go like this. So, like, somehow, immediately, I just took, like, a pretty strong bless. A lot of magic, but now my scales are good. Maybe I could get, like, one more candle. Yeah, like, now I can play for the late game and actually win. My research is going to be solid. My growth is going to be great. Don't have to worry about blood hunting because I've got growth. Just make a lot of money without hurting myself. And dormant's just for... I mean, I could even go imprisoned. Why not? Let's go imprisoned and get even more. Look at this. Okay, I've still got good sacreds. I could still rush someone down with my sacreds with this, especially Nazca. Totally do that. And if I don't beat Nazca, then I go late and I still win. Like, it's just kind of better. I could even pick up a couple points in other random paths. I could take fire, why not? Take fire, take a point of death. It's like, well, wow, I just made a pretender that's almost strictly better. It's not as good for the early game rush, but if I'm not bothering with an early game rush, then I don't need to. Just don't need to worry about it really. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like clicking around and stuff. Like, would this have been any better? I don't think so. Maybe we could have gone dormant. Growth 1. God, this sucks. This bless sucks. I like this guy though. He looks cool. Summons winter wolves, which is neat. I think Jotunheim is probably a better nation than the demonstration that you, the viewer, got in my series. And I have to apologize to the Giants for doing them that great injustice. I mean, you didn't even get to see any cool blood or astral communion magic happen. Or the Scrotty, this neat unit, didn't even really get to get used at all. Instead, I made this dummy, this like dumb guy who's just got an axe and he hits hard. Like, yeah, he can quicken himself. He can, if he gets the air, he can cast a mirror image, which is cool. If you give him an Earth Gem, he can cast Mistform. He's a good thug, but it's expensive. And he's slow to recruit. He's cap only. Like, you want to be making this mage in your capital. Just, like, look at these paths. It's insane. You could do, like, anything in the game. At least on the, the sorcery side. I stand by never making this unit, but yeah, I think it was really a failure of pretender creation that caused me to stumble and ultimately lose this game. But there was a lot of problems. There was just like, yeah, these were the scales. Yeah, this sucks. Just terrible. 6 candles because I wanted more sacreds out. I mean, it makes sense, like, you know, there's logic put into it here, but... Hand over your shekels, goy. stories are being told about his unequaled obesity.